3 simple steps to decreasing your paper trail as a counselor. So for me, when I was an intern, I kept like a notebook of different random notes in my sessions that people, like, I just didn't want to forget, so that I could actually type it into my progress notes. My clinical supervisor told me not to do that because it actually increases your liability, because you have to shred all that afterwards and things like that. And so you just want to make sure that you don't have too much paper documentation around. Here are my simple 3 tips that I use to decrease my paper trail. The first thing that I do is I do not bring a notebook and pen and have it in front of me during my sessions. I bring it as a traveling therapist, I bring it with me in my bag and I keep it there unless I need to bring it out. The reason that I don't put it in front of me anymore is because I found that if I don't have it in front of me or around, then I don't have the urge to be writing or whatever, writing things down. I am more engaged and present, and so because I'm more engaged and present in the conversation, I'm more likely to remember what was said anyways. And so that's how I do that. So the second tip that I have is, if you do have something that, or if the client does say something that's really powerful or something that you really want to remember to put in a progress note, draw a picture that is going to help you remember that thing. So if, for example, your client says, "I don't think she ever loved me," then you can simply draw a heart on a notepad, which at that point you bring your notepad out and you just draw a heart and you can put it back and then continue to process what they said. And if I ever do have to do that, which it doesn't happen often because I can usually remember things that is said, if it does happen, I usually do tell them, I really, let me just write down something real quick so that I remember to bring that up later, because it's really powerful what you just said, and then we process it. But just so that it's not distracting and they understand that I'm not, disengaging now after they said this really powerful thing. But usually if it is a very powerful thing, I will remember anyway. But sometimes it happens where you've just had one of those days where your brain just feels, like there's so much information. And so when that happens, drawing a little picture that helps you remember later, like a little trigger picture that'll help you remember later what was talked about in a session, can help you when you write your progress note. The third thing that I do is I chart as soon as possible. Charting as soon as possible increases the accuracy of your notes, because even if you were to write things down during sessions, your notes probably still wouldn't be very accurate if you wrote your note a week later rather than doing it 24 hours, 48 hours from when you actually did your note. So I think I think it depends on the insurance that your organization accepts or whatever. But one place that I did an internship at had a policy of you need to have your progress notes written within a 48-hour period. Another place that I worked at was, what was it? I think it was also 48 hours. But my policy for myself personally is 24 hours. Even though we don't do insurance reimbursement, I still have those high standards because I know what it's like to fall behind on paperwork. And when that happens, it's just like super stressful. Then all you do is write paperwork for an entire day. And I can't stand writing progress. I don't know any counselor who actually enjoys writing progress notes, which is funny because when I was in grad school, I was like so excited to write progress notes, and I was like, what? People don't like writing progress notes? That's crazy. Because like our professor said that most counselors don't like writing progress notes, but it's still very important. And I was like, what? What do you mean they don't like it? But now that I'm in the field, I'm like, yeah, it just sucks. Like, I don't like doing it, but it's super necessary and I understand why it's necessary. But anyways, writing my notes within a 24-hour period helps me to not only make sure my documentation is as accurate as it can be, but also it helps me to not fall behind and get super stressed out or burdened by anything. And writing those notes early on or within the 24-hour period, I usually try and do it the same day or the next morning. Doing it that way is beneficial for the client because I can recall better, more accurately what was talked about and what the key things that we did were to help further them in their treatment process. So anyways, those are my 3 tips for decreasing your paper trail as a counselor. If you have any tips or things that you do, please let me know in the comments. Thanks. Bye.